Welcome to the Puck and Stoner Dad Show with your hosts, Ginger Claus and Dusty. We are now on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Music by Burning Bridges. Subscribe, like.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Episode number 18, I think it is. 18 episodes already. This is Dusty. I got my boy Ginge here on the right. What is going on, brother?
I'm happy to be here. I am excited to be here, and I am twisted.
Man, can you believe it? 18 episodes right now. We're in our first off season. It started off as, just something kind of fun, and,
Here we are.
Here we are. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah. So
There's been a lot of laughs.
Yeah. We got quite the lineup tonight of stuff. I'm not gonna go over everything. I know we did. I messed up in the last one, but we're gonna go here, and we're just gonna kind of surprise everyone.
At least it wasn't a full episode in.
Yeah. So first is Stanley Cup. Florida Panthers, man. Florida Panthers in 7. They went up 3-0. They avoided a historical collapse.
Reverse sweep.
Edmonton falls short of the miracle Cinderella story.
And it was so sad.
It was pretty sad out there, man. I did feel bad for him. I kind of thought Florida was going to win the whole time. I don't know. I wasn't one that's like I didn't really want to see Edmonton win. I wasn't like, oh my god, they have to win. I wouldn't have been mad if they won though.
I was banking on it. I was an Edmonton Oilers fan that series. 4 games in.
That was, man. That was such... that was an incredible run.
It was. It just sucked. It was so, the whole playoffs as a whole were so drawn out that it was like trying to stay awake in a movie.
See, you did? I thought it was actually pretty entertaining.
That series was entertaining, but the fact that it took so long, it felt like a full regular season from when the Leafs got eliminated till the final round. Like the next 2 rounds were dog years long.
Yeah, definitely. They were
probably because they were all just so disappointing.
I thought it was a pretty overall most of the whole playoffs was pretty entertaining hockey. I thought it did drag out though. We're very, very close to July, and the playoffs just ended.
Yeah, it's time to go to the beach.
It's crazy. Well, it's Canada Day tradition, oh yeah, you go and you do your Canada Day stuff, but you got your phone on you, and you're got the Twitter close and your notifications on because all the free agents, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm pumped for.
I'm nervous.
I'm curious what they're gonna do.
Like I was saying, like you had said, watching this finals kind of just opens your eyes as to where the Leafs are. Yeah. And I saw someone post something somewhere, and it said, even if the Leafs get the goaltender they need and the defense they need, you couldn't even get the heart you need from the players that matter. we could have that core four with an Olympic roster built around it. And I feel like the core would still just half-ass it 4 games into round one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
You're not
little
wrong, man.
disheartening.
It is.
Because then you wait for free agency and you wait for, like, well, what's going to happen with Marner? And you wait with, like, who's going to be goaltending with Wall? And, like, well, how much are we even really paying Wall? And all of it, you're like, does it really matter, though? Because fucking April, we could be saying, well, fuck, we wonder what's going to be different next year.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
And thus is the life.
Huh? It is a life. We're going to get into the Leafs a little bit. We got some Leafs fans. I kind of want to talk about at least the Game 7. I know we were talking pre-game, kind of like right before it. I definitely thought Florida came out and played at least a little bit better in the first period. Like, getting that first goal was huge for them. Right?
The momentum didn't last long, but
no, exactly.
it worked.
Yeah. And then, like, the play, I think it was McDavid has that wide open net, whiffs on it, goes back the other way. Reinhardt buries it, and that was a difference maker. And I kind of had a feeling, like I said this before, I've said this, and I was like, man, like, I think that honestly was, like, that was the turning point of the game, yeah, but it was like the momentum killer.
Yeah, McDavid makes that. It's different.
Oh, if McDavid makes that, man,
There's poutine being eaten out of the cup in Edmonton right now if McDavid makes that.
Yeah, 100%.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. Right? Like, McDavid, dominant performance, right? Like, when that, like, incredible performance by him. What was it, 42 points? The whole playoffs?
Yeah, he basically...
Like, dude.
He got, like, a top scoring Ottawa
Most
Senators
assists.
point
Yeah.
in the regular season in the playoffs.
I'm actually kind of curious how many more points he got than people in the regular season in that playoffs there.
Yeah, really, though.
Yeah.
And the thing that bugs me is people are still, like, Matthews has been sipping teas on a golf course for months now. A month, at least. And people are still saying, oh, McDavid's better than Matthews. Like, fuck off. He's, like, the greatest player on earth right now. Just enjoy it.
It's not close. I love
It's not.
Matthews, man. I love Matthews.
It's not
but
close.
It's not even close.
I don't know anybody who's going to argue that.
Yeah, it's not close.
Like, why are they still saying it? We admit it. I'd give my left testicle 3 toes and 6 of my kids to have McDavid.
I think it's more trolling though too, dude. Like, honestly, a lot of people know McDavid is definitely better, but, like, I don't know. It's fun to troll and say that.
He even grows better facial hair. Like, he's everything Matthews could be.
We're just not used to seeing 4 rounds of facial hair, man.
Ah, true.
Yeah.
True. Shit. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Forget what I said there. We don't know. We never will know.
Probably not.
No. Our kids won't know.
I think we might be lucky to see like a third round maybe squeak out of this team. Maybe.
You know the lifestyle I live. I don't have a long time.
Yeah. well,
Those energy drinks are going to catch me eventually.
well, that's what happens when you have like six of them a day.
Will the Leafs catch a cup before then?
No.
Your guess is as good as mine.
So we're gonna transition in through the Stanley Cup to something else that kind of happened. Connor McDavid, with that dominant performance, wins the Conn Smythe. Doesn't come out to accept the award. And I know there's a lot of people defending him on that, saying, like, yeah, would you want to do that? No, but at the same time, though, man, like, the code, this game preaches a code, and, you know, like, you are a leader, and, like, yeah, you shouldn't be happy. No one said that you had to be happy and lift it. Go accept the award. You don't want to even care. Hold it, whatever. Go out, get your fucking picture. You accept it, or go on. Or like I said on the Shadow Show last night, awarded at the freaking awards like tonight. Like no one knew who the Hart Trophy was.
Yeah.
Awarded at the NHL awards at least. If you're gonna do that, even who cares, man? Have the Stanley Cup winning team at the awards. Why are they not there?
Because they're fucking cut right now. In a ditch. They don't know where they are.
Man. That's great.
They're lost. They're man, like,
yeah.
half their parents are worried.
Is the Stanley Cup
they haven't
end up in some alligator somewhere?
Oh yeah, like, phew.
Right.
It's Florida, man. They're fucked.
Yeah.
Florida, man. Like, think of the headlines.
Yeah. I don't know where the awards are. I don't know. Are they in Vegas?
I think.
I couldn't even tell you where they're hosted, but
isn't the draft in Vegas?
Yeah.
All the awards might be in Vegas then.
It's at the Sphere.
Nice.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on McDavid doing that, though?
Nah. I see your point, but at the same time, if like they said about Jaguar already being on the ice, so he had to. Like, the guy wanted to off himself, man. You can see it in the picture. That picture could be on the wall in the therapist's office with before therapy, and then him with the cup after, saying after therapy.
Okay, so how is it any different then when you go for a gold medal and the people that win the silver?
That's the whole team.
So
that's the only difference.
They're still a player of the game awarded to the other team.
Yeah, but you're already on the ice. You don't have to come out. I guarantee you if you went into the dressing room and then they tried to call you on the ice, you'd see this all the time. This wouldn't just be a McDavid thing. You'd see it a lot, especially in women's. Because they're all like about like building each other up and stuff. They'd want to be like, they'd be like, we're all going out, or none of us are.
True. Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
There is a code,
Yeah.
and I think like I said the same thing with celebrities. Like, celebrities not doing something that they're supposed to do, and everyone if there's a stigma or a code, you should just stick to it or expect consequences. So I agree. Like, if you're gonna follow the code, he should go out and accept the award.
He is a professional, man. He's a professional who has paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that is an award from the NHL, right? And the NHL, like the NHL does pay these guys, right?
So do you think he should get a fine for misconduct?
It's McDavid. He won't, though.
You could use some from his All-Star winnings, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. If
Like,
you're
I'm not
in
saying
the
to fine him. I don't know.
like, well, okay, so put it to you this way, okay? Because that room's got some characters in it, okay? Say you're Mr. McDavid, and you're standing in there, and then someone pokes their head in, and they say, "Hey, McDavid, you won the Conn Smythe. Come get a picture with it." And you look around, and your team's glaring at you, and someone says, "Yeah, go get your little trophy." Are you gonna go out there, or are you gonna be like, "No, fuck that"?
that's why I think that's why, like, when I said it should be awarded at the awards.
Now that, yeah, you should go and accept your award because there's a
Because
coach.
man, it's a prestigious award too, though, right? Like, you're the best of the playoffs, and like the playoffs are this is the hardest trophy to win, is the Stanley Cup. And like, I get he didn't win it, but to be the best in that whole game series and go on that historical run, right? Like, I don't know, like, he probably will win it again.
Yeah.
To think that like he's not ever going to go that far, like, dude, who knows? That he can go it next year and win it. Look what Florida did, man. Florida lost, and then they're like, okay, now we know what it takes.
A lot of it's front office though, and what can they do to keep the same kind of squad around? Because Florida, they kept chemistry, right?
Yeah.
There's not always a lot of new faces in Florida.
Well, apparently, Ken Holland is going to be gone. Rumor
And
has
if
it
they
Ken
have
Holland.
someone come in who says, "Yeah, I believe in this group, and I think we can, move a few pieces and put something similar on the table and do something better," that's great. But if they come in and someone says, "Yeah, well, I think we're just gonna fucking, you know,"
Would you though? Would you run this team back?
me personally,
Yeah.
uh, well, if I'm sitting in Kent Holland's chair right now, did they not just buy out Jack Campbell?
Buyout period starts tomorrow, I believe.
Okay, I read somewhere that he's getting bought out or something. So if they buy Jack Campbell out, that's nice. That's nuts. I would run back a lot of it, but I would improve the goaltending. And there's probably some areas to tighten up. I haven't put that much thought into it. That they're not maybe my favorite team at all, but I think that it's not a fluke they got where they are. And you'd be crazy to try to strip the chemistry. It's like coaches don't even think about chemistry anymore. Like, remember when they used to build chemistry? You'd see the same not just core, but the same skeleton of a team for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the problem with that is where we're at in sports right now is we're demanding results as fans too, though, right? Like,
Yeah,
we
so if something
want the
doesn't work,
championships. Yeah, exactly. And with the way online is now, and you see all these celebrations online and fans, and like, man, I want that. Like, everyone wants that feeling, and it's like, it's that everyone's chasing that euphoric feel of the win. And everyone wants that, right? So, like, that's why there's more high pressure, and then owners are like, they want the new thing that's won too. Okay, you might own a hockey team, but yeah, I own a hockey team too, and it was the champion. Right? Like, think of like the billionaires who use these as toys, like in the football, even, right? Like, like Robert Kraft. all this, but okay, yeah, you guys all own that. Like, look at my 6 championships I've won in the last, like, 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Good thing we're owned by an investors group.
Yeah. So, we got McDavid. The Hockey Hall of Fame nominees come out. So, for players, 3 players are inducted. Pavel Datsyuk, to me, like, not even debatable, man. Like, hands down, absolutely won at every single level, won the Stanley Cup. Like,
Had hands like a magician and feet like a magician. That guy could just do anything.
You could argue that, like, without him, you're not going to get guys that are doing, like, the Michigans and Trevor Zegerases and, like, stuff like that, man. He opened the gate for that kind of stuff and, like, the real skilled game of hockey, too, right? Like, he was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, his shootout moves, like, inspired guys like Pavel Barber in that even, right? Like...
Yeah, Barbs and Swaggy P and a bunch of those guys. They're all doing that shit because, they grew up watching Datsyuk.
Exactly.
And everyone, like, I know I played a lot of ball hockey when I wasn't playing hockey.
Yeah.
Like, if I was not in the rink, I was out in the yard or down on the street. And anytime there was a shootout, you would hear someone coming in and they'd say, "Oh, the Datsyuk!"
Yeah.
And they'd try some crazy deke that wouldn't work.
Yep.
Like, it didn't matter what team you liked. Everyone knew who he was and that he could. It was like Cronwall with his hitting.
Yeah.
Datsyuk just had magic fucking hands and feet that didn't make sense. Like, watch some of his highlight videos where there's 3 guys on him and he's just doing this disgusting shit, and then he's open.
It was weird.
Bouncing it off people's feet, bouncing it off their sticks, off the boards, off the back of the net, off the goalie's head. Like, what the fuck, man?
Mm-hmm.
You don't practice this shit. There's no way. There's no way to even think about this in your driveway, and he's just doing it.
And at such high speeds too.
At high fucking speeds, where you're like, how are you even thinking right now? Like,
yeah, like he thought the game that fast, which is insane.
He was like, yeah.
Like, the only player comparable to, like, how he kind of thought the game, I think, is McDavid.
Yeah, it's McDavid. McDavid's the only other player who you see go into it's like Looney Tunes, man. Like, he goes into a cloud and you see, like, sticks and helmets and gloves in this cloud.
Yeah.
And he skates in with the puck and you see his cloud going, and then he skates out with the puck.
Yeah.
And then everyone stops in midair and falls to the ice, and he just taps it in the net.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a Looney Tunes episode, and that's Datsyuk.
Yeah. So to me, it wasn't even, like, absolutely, like, to me, it's not debatable.
No,
Next up, Jeremy Roenick.
Man. I always loved Roenick as a kid just because he had attitude and stuff, but what did he do?
He didn't really win much. Like,
he's got a gravelly voice. It works for the big show.
He's not even on the show, man. Like, he's banned from NBC.
You knew, like, in an all-star game, if he was in an all-star game, which he was in a couple, I remember at least one as a kid, you knew he was going to hit somebody, and it was weird because it was an all-star game and there was no hitting.
Yeah. Never won a Stanley Cup. Never
No.
won gold medal at the Olympics. I don't know about the Worlds. Okay. So like that's why I quite like he was at one time like one of the all-time best American players, but like I don't know, like I thought the Hockey Hall of Fame shouldn't look at okay, like yeah, cuz he's American, let's try and get some Americans in there. Let's get the best players in the world in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone will troll us and tell us something we didn't know, but I always just thought he was just like just a guy in the NHL who hit a lot.
In the dead puck era.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I was too young to really kind of like be able to watch his game.
Yeah, like I don't know. I smoked too much weed to like really think about what happened when I was a kid, but I do remember his name being in video games, and I remember him seeing him play on Hockey Night in Canada occasionally.
And he had a hammer on when he played in video games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And next up, and the final player. This one really, really confused me. This name does not scream first ballot Hall of Famer to me. Shea Weber.
Oh yeah, Shea Weber. Yeah. I don't know, man. He's always been a good defenseman, and he's always been someone I'd like to have on the Leafs. And he did play the leadership role well in Montreal when they almost won the cup, but
he didn't win one though.
He did, and like to win it right out of the gate, right? Like I don't know. There's probably some other places it could have went, McGillney.
I was just going to say that, so I was going to kind of go into that too. So I was going to say, well, what about the snub about McGillney then?
Isn't that every year?
15 times, man. 0 for 14 or 0 for 15. One of the two.
I don't remember if I said this last night. It was a little hazy, but I think the only way he gets in now, because clearly what he's done isn't enough. It's not jack shit enough, I guess. And he can't do more. He can't score more goals. He can't win a cup. Like, he has to coach, or he has to like start a hockey school, or like a scout, an agent company, like an agency.
So you're saying basically under a builder.
Yeah. If he couldn't make it as a player, he has to fucking build his way in and then get recognized for what he also did as a player.
Yeah. All right, so we have those, and then we have the female players, Natalie Darwitz. I don't remember these players that much. I didn't watch a lot of.
I know the name.
Hockey.
I watch a lot more now, but like I know the name, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't even tell you where she's from.
And Chrissy Wendell Pohl? They're both Americans. I know that.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you who those two are. That's my ignorance towards that. Under the builders category, we got David Poley. I kind of agree, man. Like, to be like Barry Trotz is now the second GM of Nashville. To be like the only GM of the Nashville Predators for as long as he was is pretty incredible, man.
Yeah.
When you're in that much of a turnaround business, like hockey actually is.
Especially in Nashville.
I was going to say, especially in a market like that where they're like, no, we want to get someone that's winning this, right? Like,
to build a successful hockey team in a place where most people just want to drink whiskey and play on their acoustic.
Yeah.
That's admirable.
In a place with music, he has built hockey down in Nashville.
Yeah. And some like he's brought in some admirable names, man. Some big names.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I would probably put Nashville in my top 3 places I want to go watch a game. I would say
Oh, I'd love to see.
Nashville, Vegas, and I'll say the Bell Center. I think seeing a game in
that'd be
Montreal would be really
fun.
cool. Yeah. Or
I'd want to clearly I want to see a game in Toronto because I'm a Maritimer and just something we think about. And I'd love to see a game at Madison Square Garden.
that was my other one.
And I don't want it to be the Leafs either. I want cuz that horn in that building with the dome, it's so iconic, man. When I hear that goal horn go off, I don't want to be pissed off.
I feel if I wanted to go to a Rangers game, I'd want it to be a Rangers Devils.
Rangers Devils, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So I can at least just hope against the Devils.
Oh, it'd be such a well, I know what Devils for your wife, but even just like the atmosphere because they're such a rival, right? It's like
the big rivalry, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch, mother. I rolled over my toe.
Oh.
I just got flip-flops on.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't feel good. Last but not least on the builders, Colin Campbell.
That ruffled some feathers.
Yeah, considering like how he attacked Mark Savard.
Yeah.
Like that story of that, saying he was a big faker and faking head injuries and trying to get his son's team like.
Yeah, he's a bit of a headache.
It confused me for sure, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. But we decided to do something about it. Dusty has no idea, but we started the Puckin' Stoner Dads Hockey Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
And our first inductee is Alexander Mogilny.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll announce another one next year. At this time. What's the date today? 25th?
June 27th, 2024.
June 27th, 2025 will be the second annual Hockey Hall of Puckin' Fame.
There you go.
The Stoner Dads Hockey Hall of Puckin' Fame.
All right.
Next year, I'm voting in Ovechkin.
Okay, so we got...
I know that guy smokes weed.
100%. So, next up, we have some rule changes.
Yeah.
Coming into effect. There's a few of them. So, first one we got, it's called Rule 38.2.
38.2.
A coach's challenge now will be permitted to take down a penalty for a puck out of play. So this will apply to delay game penalties when the puck is determined to have deflected off a player, stick, glass, or boards, and not on a judgment call on how the puck left a defensive zone. Example, batted pucks or if the puck was shot out from the defensive zone. In the event of a failed challenge, another 2-minute minor penalty will be assessed in addition to the existing delay a game penalty. What do you think of that rule?
Well, one of those like challenge things. It's like you just want to be really fucking sure, man.
Yeah, but it's risk reward though, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, even if a coach never uses it, is it going to affect the game? No. So like, whatever. I think it's
It
a cool
could.
idea.
So say
But if,
like, remember the series against Montreal?
yep,
Remember when Marner did it and it ended
yep.
up like changing that game? So say Sheldon Keefe does that, right? Say the challenge goes his way. Like, how much does that change? Right? Because then it's not a penalty, right? And maybe it changes the way like that series.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. But even if the coaches don't really think they're comfortable with it and it doesn't get used this year, like I don't understand why people would be upset about it.
I can maybe see that used in the playoffs. Like, if it's something that's really going to affect you, would you see it
Yeah,
in
like,
Game 7? Probably not.
especially if you're sure, right? Like if it's a
Yeah.
deflection or like
Yeah.
the ref didn't see it ramp off buddy beside him stick who's on the other team and the coach did and you're fucking positive, that's a good
Yeah.
it works out. It can stop you from a really poor momentum swing.
Yeah.
You just want to be sure, right? And you want to make sure that there's no crooked refs that are just going to be like, no, no, that no.
No, that means it's video reviewed. Kind of like an
Yeah, it would go upstairs, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Never mind. Forget I said that.
Yeah. So that's when you're relying on your video coaches, though, man. Like, how much do you trust your video coaches is going to be the question, right? Like,
Well, you find out then, yeah, that's for
yeah.
sure. If you
Is your
don't know, you
Toronto?
do then.
Your Toronto, considering last year, well, I think they were maybe wrong once out of like 15 or 16 times.
Yeah, they did have a really good record with that, eh?
Yeah. But then again, like, you have, like, I would be like, your job is on the line kind of thing if you try that in the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to fuck that up, man.
Yeah. So, like, I do like that option, though. Like, when you have something obvious and the ref's like, oh, that didn't go off and you just shot it out. And I was like, no, it didn't. Kind of thing, right? It gives that option to, like, show it. Because, like, a bad penalty off that call, off of what a ref didn't fully see,
Yeah.
could screw you. So, I like that. It's an option.
I'm always cool for challenge rule changes because it doesn't affect the pace of the game, right? Like it's not like they're
Yeah.
throwing back in the two-line pass where you're just going to throw the game off and change the way you watch it. Like the first couple times it's going to happen and you're going to be like, "Oh, what the fuck? What is this? The 90s?" But like a challenge, like it doesn't change the game, it doesn't change how you watch it, it doesn't change the whistles. Like it's just a challenge that can happen if a coach sees something, and to give them that opportunity, I think is cool.
Exactly, man. Like, so, like, yeah. So we both we both kind of do like that one then. So the next rule here, Rule 63.8. So there will be an adjustment to Rule 63.8 so that the defensive team cannot make a line change in the event its goaltender accidentally dislodges the net.
So if your goalie dislodges the net, it's like
or
an
your
icing.
team, yeah, or your team, yeah, you can't make a line change. I like that.
Yeah, it's gonna stop Matt Murray from doing it all the time.
Matt Murray rule, basically, it's being called.
Yeah. He's not even in the league anymore, and they're finally making a rule for him.
Okay. Yeah,
You've been Matt Murray'd. Oh, it's almost like lawyered. You've been Murray'd.
Yeah. So, this next rule I don't really like. I kind of hate how refs do that. It drives me up the wall. Rule 76.4, face-off procedure. So it's a falling and icing. The offensive center also now will receive one warning, same as a defensive player for a face-off violation. Man, like...
So we're throwing more people out of the circle is what you're saying?
Basically.
Oh, yay.
Like, man, it just drives me nuts. This shit. When the ref's like, oh, I'm going to pretend like I do. Ha 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 ha. It's like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, just go make the game happen, dude.
Yeah. Rule 75.3. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Players sitting on boards. The referee will now provide the offending team, coach, and players with one warning regarding players sitting on the boards, and will so advise the other team. After one warning in a game, the team precipitating the warning will be issued a bench minor for future violations. I kind of get this rule, but at the kind of same time, I'm like, what?
Is it going to cut down on too many men?
It could.
That'd be nice.
It would be,
especially for us.
Yeah, true. I don't know if it will, though.
Yeah, I'm going to have to see it to know if I like it, but like I never really noticed them sitting on the boards or how it affects anything. So, but I just feel like you'd be less likely to jump onto the play before you're required to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly.
I don't know if I like it or not. Ask me in December.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, all right, yeah, here. Okay, so we're gonna play a little game. I got the top 50 UFAs. We don't have to do all of them. We can do a good chunk. When we want to stop it, we can. So, number one on this one. This is from the Hockey News. Number one, Sam Reinhart, 28 years old, right wing. Previous cap hit was $6.5 million. Where's he going?
It would be nice if he went to Toronto and played some Mitch Marner.
It would be. He's going to get paid, I imagine.
But what's get paid? Like $8 million, $9 million? What's that?
Yeah.
That's like pennies.
So, where is he going?
I think he goes back to Florida. That's what I think.
I think he goes back to Florida.
I don't see why he'd leave. I don't see why a lot of Panthers would leave right now. If there's a team that's probably going to try to run it back, it's going to be the team that kept most of the skeleton of a roster for the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Number two. Probably one of the more interesting people on this. I think he should be number one on this list, but okay. Jake Gensel. $6 million was his previous cap hit. I know it's a hard one, eh? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if he stays in Carolina just because that was like the first kind of big name they signed, and they like to keep people together. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to re-sign him or he goes back to Pittsburgh, but I couldn't give you any other answer.
I'm going to go off the board here. I'm thinking that he might go to Vancouver.
Vancouver, eh?
Yeah.
You're not reading that on Google right now that he just did, and I'm just in the dark, eh? Because that'd be funny.
No. But they are clearing cap space, it looks like. So.
Man, Vancouver's another. Oh.
I think he'd be a great fit in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be nice
Number
for them
3,
anyway.
Brandon Montour.
Oh, that
Previous
would be a name I'd like to see in Toronto, but
previous cap hit $3.5 million.
bring him to Toronto. I'm saying it. We're gonna see him in Toronto.
Right-handed D, 30 years old, man. I kind
Oh,
of thinking Toronto is a really good fit. I don't want to say it, but I think either Toronto or he's staying in
he's
Florida.
gonna stay in Florida, but if he leaves Toronto, bring him.
I think a black horse in that fight too, Boston.
Don't do that. Don't do no. We'd see him all. No,
We see him all the time in Florida anyway, too. We're all
I
in the
know,
same
but he's
division.
just gonna fuck us in a different jersey.
Yeah.
In a jersey I like less.
Number 4, Steven Stamkos.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say that. He's never gonna come to no T words, but definitely no Tampa either. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
No? You're not.
I'm just gonna say the first team that comes to mind, Anaheim.
Okay.
Still warm, and they got like young core. They could have that older voice in the room that's not Cam Fowler.
Yeah. I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Whew. That'd be cool.
Malkin, Crosby, and Stamkos.
Heading right down to the old age home.
And if there's anyone crazy enough and willing to spend a lot of money on 3 forwards, it's going to be Kyle
It's
Dubas.
Mr. fucking Blippy himself. Kyle
Mr.
Dubas.
fucking Blippy. Number 5, and actually another really good center. His last cap hit was actually very cheap. Elias Lindholm, 29 years old. He's a center at $4.85 million. I believe he's in Boston.
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to go either. I could see maybe even Edmonton being a player in him.
Oh yeah, they might be someone who tries to just bring in a new name to not
Maybe
change the roster too much, but bring in just something new to fucking spice it up, you know?
Yeah. Brett Pesce, 29-year-old right-handed defenseman at $4.025 million was his previous cap hit. So these guys are all UFAs, so they're obviously going to get raises. But
Well, didn't Twitter already say that he's going to be a Maple Leaf? I thought every
they are
armchair
wanting
GM
him.
was saying
They
that.
are really wanting him. I wouldn't hate seeing Brett Pesce. I'd want to see either Montour or Pesce as a defenseman ad, and I'd like to see Perron. Jonathan Marchessault, 33 years old, $5 million. He's aging, so
I think he's going to stay in Vegas.
yeah, probably. Brady Skychki? Yes, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah. I don't know that one.
30-year-old left-handed defenseman, $5.25 million.
I've always wondered how to say his name whenever I see him playing. I don't hear anybody say his name.
Yeah. I have no clue where he'll go.
No, me either.
Patrick Kane.
Back to New York. He'll only go to an original 6 team. He's got to keep with the pattern.
Yeah. Imagine he goes to Boston.
Don't do that. No. No.
Matt Duchene.
Montreal.
I could see that. Yeah. Chandler Stevenson.
Is he coming from Vegas?
Yep.
I think he stays in Vegas. What's coming from Vegas stays in Vegas, or whatever Whoopi Goldberg said.
Tyler Bertuzzi.
I'd like to say he stays in Toronto, but I don't think he does.
I don't think he's.
I say he goes somewhere like New York, New Jersey.
Ooh. Or I think either that, maybe back to Detroit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Teuvo Teravainen.
Edmonton.
Yeah. Nikita Zadorov. I'm just saying, if somehow Brad ever pulled off Zadorov, Montour, and Pesci, he'd be a fucking god.
Yeah, it just sucks that we'd use that whole season to waste it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we don't know that. I want to see a season with Berube before I count out the commitment from whatever core we go forward with.
Yeah.
I want to see what he can get out of them. Be that with Marner or not, I don't care. I couldn't give a rat's ass about him at this point. But I do want to see whatever core we go forward with, what they can give under Berube.
Yeah. I'm curious what he can do, but at the same time, man, it's like, fuck, like, do we want to run it back and be at the same point next year and be like, fuck, we should have just fucking made a move?
Yeah, no. Like, I feel like there needs to be a move, but, like, I don't think you need to move more than one yet.
You have to move someone on the core, man.
You need,
It's
but
too
not
much
more
money.
than one.
No, but...
Yet. I was saying, too, I think I could lose one and be happy, but if we lost 2 people from the core, even better. Then just bump Riley up to the core and consider him the core.
That's a lot of money that can come off the books.
Yeah,
it's
from an old guy in a little bit.
Marner?
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be like, it's like $21 million. If not, almost probably close to 22.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
You could build a roster with that money.
You could get 2 $9 million players and then add a fucking, like a mid kind of third guy at $2 million for that.
Yeah.
18, actually 22. Yeah. No, that'd be like, you could pay like a $4 million guy.
Yeah, you could load up on like $5 million guys.
So you could do 2 $9 million and a $4 million player.
You could do 4 $5 million players, $1 million players, and then someone else on a league minimum.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You could completely change the roster.
Yeah. So I would like to see Nikita Zadorov in the least. I want to see one of those guys. One of them is, like, I hope, on forward. Apparently there's mutual interest with this one, Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I would not hate that at all.
I'd like it. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Sean Monahan.
Leafs.
I would like that, actually. Tyler Toffoli.
Not Leafs. Not that I'd hate that. I'd love it. I
Yeah.
just don't think he'd ever play in Toronto. Where the hell is he even at now?
I couldn't even tell you.
It was Calgary, and then it was...
I could see him. LA maybe?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Tarasenko, I couldn't even tell you.
I think he's going to stay in Florida. He just won a cup.
It depends, man. They're going to want to shed some salary, too, because they're going to have to. Ilya Samsonov. I know.
The KHL. No, just kidding.
Utah?
Maybe.
Or
Maybe.
Chicago?
Or maybe that, yeah. Like some team looking for a goalie that thinks he can get a bag from his dad every so often.
Max Domi.
Have we heard what's going on with him in the Leafs yet? I want to say he stays.
I'm thinking, from basically what I'm hearing is that it's sounding like they're kind of disagreeing on term.
Okay.
So maybe get that figured out. I don't know.
Do you think it's more they want him to stay for a long time, but he wants to be more like the little
I think he wants the security, and Toronto's wary about giving that much time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking bridge deal him. Bridge deal him.
Believe it or not, we were asking Tyler Toffoli was actually out in Winnipeg.
Oh, he's in Winnipeg? Yeah. I say he stays in Winnipeg.
Yeah. Adam Henrique.
Ducks.
I think he might stay in Edmonton.
Yeah, probably, to be honest. Yeah, you're right. Who would want to go back to the Ducks when you've been freed from that shithole?
Chris Tanev. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping the Leafs stay away from that.
Yeah, I don't want that, man. Like
34 years old, man. I really hope they're not going to get this guy term.
Dallas
keeps him, I'd be down. I was going to say Dakota Joshua, but he just resigns. It says right here, yeah, he resigned. Anthony Mantha.
I'm not sure.
David Perron, apparently the Leafs are really pushing for him because Craig Berube really likes him.
Yeah.
I want to say he's going to end up in Toronto. Warren Fogle. You know what? Watching him, I wouldn't hate him on the Leafs.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't hate it either. I just don't know if I'd see it happen.
Matt Wall in here. I wouldn't hate it. I'd love to see him on the Leafs. Okay.
Agree.
I think that's pretty much most of that. So we were kind of getting into some of the guys on there already. So like the Leafs, what moves do you want to see the Leafs? What are you expecting out of the Leafs this summer, man? Like,
I want to see at least one core member gone. I want to see a goaltender beside wall or in front of wall, but not behind wall. and then defenseman. And I want to see what Berube can get out of that offense with the scoring, but also if we get rid of someone like Marner or Tavares, I'd like to replace them as well, right? Maybe not that caliber, but move someone up and bring someone into the third line, maybe. Maybe it's Nye's time to shine permanently. Maybe Robertson what's going on with Robertson anyway?
I think that's the major one that I want to see too. I want to see it's his time. Is he going to step up and be a big boy, or
I just don't want to see him get Trevor Moored.
Man, it's time to step up. Trevor Moore actually played pretty decent when he was on the Leafs. He'd have flashes of that. I don't know. Maybe it's just not the right market for a guy like Nick Robertson.
Right guy, wrong time.
Yeah.
And I know he could do better in a different market because he'd get the ice time and he could be a second line.
I bet you. I could see Dallas getting some interest in him. To play with his brother, and the
brothers Grimm.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'd love to see it work for him though, but I don't know. There's way too much going on with the offense as it is.
Yeah, you're right.
But if we shed one of those big names and move him up and bring in a defenseman with that money and bring up someone else, just do some switching around, would that be enough? I don't know.
Yeah. True.
Do we have to bring in more forwards? Or could we use some of that money for defense?
I think we should. I think they should basically look at those stars and be like, you guys wanted all this money. We're going to fill you up with fucking league minimum deals around you. And we're going to spend the money on the goaltending and the defense. And that's what our money's going to go towards for the next couple of years.
I think that's the right way to handle it, because I think within the farm system and what we've got and what we're paying for, you should be able to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Remember when we used to compare this core to Chicago's core?
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly don't know if this core has what it takes.
I think maybe one or two players in the core have what it takes. They just don't. There's just something missing. And everyone's too lost on the whole core as a whole that they're not getting that maybe you could build a new core with some of the remaining pieces.
I think the core is the issue, though, right? It's emphasis. It's hockey. It's a team game. Everyone has to be dialed in, and everything's so emphasized on this. The core. It's a team game.
Build a team. You're right.
As soon as you start seeing all this team as individuals, then that's your issue right there already.
Yeah, and you just said it, and it's true. What's the core in Edmonton? It's Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl,
yep.
Kane.
But
what's
really,
the core in Florida?
But that team, though, man. When you think of Edmonton, though, and you go, okay, whose team is that? It's McDavid and Draisaitl's team.
Yeah. So you could even say the core is two players.
Yeah.
Now, who's the core in Florida? There isn't one. That team
Barkov and Tkachuk, I would say. Maybe
but look at the team built around it.
Yeah.
It's way
Ekblad.
stronger than what Edmonton
Yeah.
put around theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they didn't outshine Edmonton most of the time in the finals, they still are a team that was built to win.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Multiple playoff runs,
Mm-hmm.
fucking they can win in a blowout, they can lose, get blown out, and then win a tight game the next night. Like, I hate the Florida Panthers, but they're good. They're really good.
I know, right? It's annoying.
So I think you're right, maybe because Barkov. Yeah, you could say Barkov, and yeah, but like the whole team is a team, man. That's a team that's built to
Mm-hmm.
win.
Oh, exactly. It's the difference of like Toronto and, you know. So we had that. We said what we want. A lot of those defensemen. I want to see them add some toughness on defense. I think they should need to allocate that money to there. There's also rumors of a Joseph Wool contract right now. They're saying it's about 3-4 years, and it's rumored to be about $3.5 to $4 million. Ooh.
Man, I just don't know if he can stay healthy that long, man.
And
That's
a lot of people online seem to be really, really liking it too, like this deal.
I don't know if I do yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do yet. Like if he plays 50 games next year and he's not injured once, then I might go forward a little more comfortable with it. But right now, like what
Mm-hmm.
what if we're paying him that money and like 2 years from now he plays a month and then he's out for 3 and then he comes back and plays 3 games and then he's out for a month?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the Joe Wall we've all come to love so much that we want him again for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I just don't know if I'd commit that much to that. Like he looks like he might be made of glass. We're still waiting on the tests. They haven't come back. He might be made of glass. Do we want that? I guess.
I feel you, man. Like that's why I really question it too.
Like I get
it
we
worth
put
it?
so much into building the goaltending with prospects that we want to use it instead of just go all in on a big name just to find out it might not work. But man, like if your prospect comes out of the gate and is injured every other day, he might not be built for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadow was telling us in the AHL he was always injured.
Yeah.
So why do we want to put him in the bigger, faster, tougher league?
It is a different game though. You got to remember that too though, right? Like it's a different style of game in the AHL compared to the NHL.
And he's still getting injured all the time.
Yeah, but that's what they are looking into it this year, right? Like obviously they probably did a lot of research into that this year.
Probably.
Like, because he
Their
said that at
doctors are
the press
smarter than me.
conference and that. He's probably like, we got to look into it if it's his routine or whatever. Like, so they definitely probably did look into something. And they're probably like,
And
okay,
if he
you're
comes,
working. Yeah.
yeah, if he comes out and plays most of the games and plays magnificent and we go to round 3 with him, then I'm going to be happy we made that.
And if he is a
I just
legit
gotta see it.
starter, then that's fucking amazing that we found someone for that price.
And built it ourselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like the Tuukka Rask that got away. Like, we brought this boy in and we built him.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
That's my 10 cents.
Yeah.
And a nickel.
Yeah, so we also did have a trade. Allmark to the Senators for and Corpusalo going the other way, and I believe Ottawa gave him a first-round pick as well.
Yep. Was there another player?
Yeah, I'm not sure who the player was. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Is this going to be another Tuukka Rask kind of trade? Andrew Raycroft for Tuukka Rask kind of thing?
Ow. Honestly, I don't know. I don't have high hopes on Allmark in Ottawa, man. Allmark wasn't
Yeah.
good in Buffalo.
He actually had pretty good numbers in Buffalo, believe it or not.
They still sucked though.
Yeah, he still sucked, but I
He'll
think he had
he'll
like
still put. I'm sure he'll post all right numbers in Ottawa, but I don't think it's going to be the difference.
I think it
Because
was like a 917 in Buffalo on that shitty
which is
team.
good.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like if Ottawa has the defensive structure to help his game, kind of like Boston really showed his game.
Yeah, we'll have to see it.
Watch Korpisalo go and be absolutely light out for the Bruins.
Oh yeah, watch him and Swayman be the new thing.
Yeah.
The 1A and 1A.5.
Yeah.
They'll even
Watch it
have a
happen.
new handshake. Better than the hug.
The scissor.
Leasing.
Yeah. Shout out. Right. So, I don't think we have enough time for deal or no deal. We're almost at an hour and 15 minutes already.
What?
Yeah.
This has been a fun episode. I'm happy to
Yeah.
get back in the saddle.
Exactly. I know. I've been happy too. It's been a great episode. One thing we got. Remember we've been doing this before. What are we watching?
Oh, I've got some pretty good shows on the go right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Crave, House of the Dragon.
That's the Game of Thrones kind of one, right?
Yeah, it's the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, okay.
Or sequel, prequel. It came before Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Prequel.
it's a prequel. It's a prequel. Yeah.
And have you ever watched Upshaw?
No.
It is a black sitcom on Netflix.
Okay.
It is friggin' hilarious, man. Okay, it's about this guy named Benny.
Yeah.
Him and his high school sweetheart are married, and they've got 3 kids. But see, after their first kid, they split up for a little bit and then get back together. So you find out in the first season that he had a love child while they were split up.
Oh.
So in between their oldest kid and their middle kid, he has another kid that shows up and says, "You're my dad." So this kid moves in with them, and it's just like this like stereotypical dysfunctional black family sitcom.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious, man. I laugh until I cry. Oh, it's funny. He's a mechanic, and his sister-in-law, who hates his guts, bought the mechanic place for him to run it. And
Yeah.
every other episode, she's threatening to sell it on him, and he's messing up his marriage by doing dumb shit like investing all of his wife's money into a car that doesn't work. It's just fucking stupid comedy, and I love watching it, man. It's hilarious. And then the other thing I'm watching is Tires.
Don't think I've heard of that either.
Okay, so do you know I think his name is Shane Gillis. He does the stand-up comedy about his uncle Danny with Down syndromes that makes the grilled cheeses in his closet.
No.
Okay. Are you able to watch that right now and like put it on the screen? If we do whatever we do are we able to like say, "Hey, this isn't ours"?
No, it would technically get copyrighted.
Okay, so then you just have to watch this right now so we can see your reaction. Okay. It's coming to you on Discord. This guy is the man, and he's the writer.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess it's uploading. Downloading update.
Ha! Anyway, this guy. What's that?
I say it's been a while since I've opened Discord, I guess.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Huh.
Alright, so anyway, what I have been watching, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's the Gypsy Blanchard story. So it was like life after prison. So she went to
Yeah, I've
jail.
heard of that.
Yeah, so the story of her is her mother used to tell her that she had all these diseases and like use companies like Make-A-Wish foundations and shit like that, and she used to have all these surgeries and tell her she had cancer and there was nothing wrong with her apparently. Anyway, she ended up finding out that her mother was doing this and she killed her. I think she went to jail. I think it was like 5 or 10 years or something like that. Like, because they were a little bit more lenient on her because of obviously like what happened. And so yeah, like I've been watching that. The series isn't quite done. I think it's 4 episodes right now. It has been pretty cool though. Like, it's been different, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're watching it on our Android box, so I'm not 100% sure what it's on, but alright, so no.
Oh man, you should just do it just so you can get the free games now that Netflix gives out. Yeah, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, like all the mobile versions are free if you sign into your Netflix.
Oh shit. I've
been playing San Andreas on my phone like a madman, saving Grove Street. That's funny. Is that the dancing one?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's hilarious. And in the show, it's just as, oh man, he's fucking hilarious. It's just about these guys who run a tire shop and the tire shop's failing, so they try different ways to bring customers in, and they all fail.
That's funny.
And then it's just a disaster. The show's fucking hilarious. Like, laugh until you cry, man.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
He's got the sickest sense of humor in that show, too. Like, just, it's fucked, man. It's hilarious.
Sweet, man. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah. Tires.
Yeah. All right. So, I think that about does it. We talked about quite a bit of stuff tonight. We do have free agency coming up. We've got the draft coming up.
We're going to have to do something after
that.
So
I think we'll kind of do a wrap up with the draft. We'll talk about some of the prospects. Maybe some of the hidden gems. We'll go over some trades that happen coming up into the free agency as well. Then after either Monday night or Tuesday night, we'll do a show. Maybe at the end of Tuesday night might be even better because it gives another full day, right? So 2 full days of free agency.
Yeah, sounds good to
we'll
me.
do like a recap of all that for everything, and we'll put out another episode. We'll do episode 19 on Tuesday.
Sounds good.
So if you are on the page, just make sure you leave us a subscribe, like the episode, and subscribe to the channel. If you're on our, check us out on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. I think we're pretty much on everything that you can get podcasts on.
Anything.
Yeah. Make sure you check that out. Ginge, till we see you at the next one, buddy.
Peace out.
Sounds good.
Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Check out our social medias. We are now on Spotify and Apple Podcast.